CTV Edmonton, local breaking news with Connor Hogg.
Good evening. Alberta Premier Danielle Smith says the new tariffs that the U.S. plans to impose will hurt people on both sides of the border. She says she hopes diplomacy will prevail. U.S. President Donald Trump signed an executive order yesterday imposing 50% tariffs on a wide range of Canadian products, from alcohol to dairy products and hockey sticks. The White House highlighted the decision by 8 Canadian provinces to take American booze off the shelves of liquor stores. It says U.S. companies have lost $500 million in sales. In response to that new round of tariffs, Danielle Smith is one of 9 premiers who have signed an agreement allowing Albertans to buy alcohol from liquor producers in other provinces directly instead of having to go through a retailer. The announcement was made at a meeting between premiers in Charlottetown, PEI. While there, Smith said she hopes Canada and the U.S. can work out their differences before the new Trump tariffs are set to take effect.
I think that what will happen is that we're going to have a pretty intense period over the next 29 days, and I hope that diplomacy will prevail and the best interests of both our countries will prevail, and we'll emerge with a signed CUSMA agreement that continues to keep a tariff-free relationship between Canada and the U.S. That's what we're all hoping for.
Ontario Premier Doug Ford has alluded that oil and potash could be used as retaliation against the Americans. When Smith was asked about that afterwards, she said, quote, "That's not going to happen." A source close to the federal government tells CTV News the Prime Minister was surprised by the tariff announcement. Mark Carney was asked about what led up to this on Parliament Hill this morning.
We have made a series of comprehensive and detailed proposals about how to modernize CUSMA, recognizing the transition that the U.S. is underway in the international and all its trading relationships, including with Canada and Mexico. I spoke with President Trump earlier this morning. We agreed to intensify negotiations in the coming weeks.
Mark Carney met with the premiers virtually today. He says it's up to the provinces to decide whether to put U.S. alcohol back on store shelves. Alberta allowed it back last summer. The new tariffs are scheduled to take effect on August 19th. Some people who had to evacuate a downtown music festival over the weekend say they feared for their safety. They say they were confused and disappointed by the event's directions and response. CTV's Miriam Valdez-Carletti has more.
Fan Park and Ice District was jam-packed with thousands of people dancing the night away on Saturday. But Neon Skies was cut short when the Edmonton skies took a turn.
It got dark so fast, and then all of a sudden we had to evacuate.
This alert appeared on the stage, asking people to evacuate due to rain and thunderstorms.
They told us to leave. We could even use the emergency exits, and they said it was an emergency.
A lot of shock, a lot of stress, and a lot of fear.
Julia Allen says she hid inside Rogers Place and security asked people to leave. She thinks there could have been better communication and better planning.
I'm disappointed I didn't get to see Kesha, but I'm mostly just really angry with how they handled the whole evacuation.
The overall safety plan was just not a safety plan, really.
Are we expecting people to go to muster points? Do we need to direct them to the nearest exits? Do we understand and know where those exits are?
Those are some of the questions that make a good emergency plan, according to Nate's program chair of disaster and emergency management. She says a good safety plan goes both ways.
As a concert goer, I have a responsibility to also look after my own safety and my best interests.
She adds safety doesn't just stop at the event. It should include a follow-up from organizers.
So that people that have been impacted by the decision understand what are the consequences for them and what can they expect next.
A spokesperson with OEG says all but one emergency exit near the stage were used, adding at no point was there any undue congestion at the exits and all fans were evacuated in a timely manner. He says Rogers Place and other indoor areas were available for shelter. Miriam Valdez-Carletti, CTV News, Edmonton.
Epcor is working to repair at least 3 sinkholes in different areas of Edmonton. This one is in the alley at 105th Avenue and 111th Street. Epcor says the site has been secured and it's working on starting repairs. On 107th Street and 103rd Avenue, Epcor says repairs on another sinkhole have already begun. Workers have had to redirect wastewater before they could begin to fix a damaged section of pipe. Last week, a sinkhole shut down a road near 130th Avenue and 107th Street. A worker on site told CTV News that one was about 35 feet deep, and Epcor did not have a timeline for how long it would take to fix. Epcor says there have been dozens of reports of subsidences, though most are minor, like cracks or dips in the road. Changes are coming for so-called lodging houses in Edmonton. Those are places where people can rent individual rooms rather than full units. The changes aim to clarify what is allowed in different buildings and areas. One councillor worries they will also make housing harder to find for students. CTV's Jeremy Thompson reports.
As another semester approaches, university students are starting to search for somewhere to live.
The housing struggle, it's been huge for students.
Most are looking for somewhere close to campus with as low of a monthly rent as possible. Angel Reyna says for many, the search leads to what the city calls a lodging house, where they can rent a bedroom.
The rent's already high. If they can get it slightly cheaper, that's the way they go. But it's not always the safest place for them to be.
The U of A Students' Union is paying close attention to a number of changes City Council is making to lodging house rules. One aims to ensure they're not being used as short-term rentals like Airbnbs. Another adjusts the zoning bylaw to ban them in most residential areas. That would only apply to row housing, multiplexes, and garage or basement suites. At a meeting earlier this month, developers and neighborhood advocates supported the changes.
It sends a clear and credible signal. Council is taking their concerns about neighborhood livability seriously.
Councillor Ann Stevenson isn't convinced zoning changes are the best way to address parking, garbage, and noise concerns.
People can be irresponsible neighbors regardless of their lease arrangements.
At a subsequent council meeting, she argued the changes won't address community concerns, but will limit housing choice where it's needed most.
There'd be no opportunity to have any student housing, lodging housing in the new row houses that are being built. I think that's a big miss and reduces some really important housing options for folks.
Council supported the change anyway. Reyna says protecting students from harmful living situations is her main concern.
The number of rentable units could decrease, but as long as this is leading to safer housing for students, that is a trade-off that we're willing to make.
There will be a public hearing before the changes take effect. It has not been scheduled. Jeremy Thompson, CTV News, Edmonton.
A man has been arrested after an apparent random attack in the Bears Paw neighborhood in South Edmonton.
I drove past here and the guy ran out in front of my car and sprinted across the street here. I just started yelling.
I would say that the police came very quickly and they responded, they were very professional and they solved everything, but I do think that it's so strange. You never see this around here. I don't know.
Police were called to a home at 15th Avenue and 105th Street yesterday afternoon after reports of a man attacking random people with a weapon. Police say a 23-year-old suspect was immediately located and taken into custody. A 62-year-old man was taken to hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. The man arrested is facing charges including assault with a weapon. Police are trying to identify a man they say forcefully grabbed a woman on the city's south side and sexually assaulted her. Police have released a sketch and several surveillance photos of the man they're looking for. They say in April, the woman was walking in a business plaza near Saddleback Road and 27th Avenue when she was assaulted. Police say the same man has been seen in the area before, as well as going into a home near Saddleback Road and 112th Street. He's described as having a heavy build, facial hair, and glasses. A single vehicle crash caused significant traffic delays in South Edmonton earlier this evening. Traffic was moving slowly near the on and off ramps of the Anthony Henday at Calgary Trail. A motorcycle was seen being collected. Police have not confirmed what kind of vehicle was involved in the crash. EPS is investigating. Two teenagers in Alberta say that Junior Lifeguard Club helped them save a man's life. Now they're encouraging others to get trained. CTV's Noah Rashog has their story.
What do you think would have happened if you guys hadn't rolled into that scene at that time?
Anything.
The waters are calm at Wabamun Lake, but on an August day, nearly 4 years ago, that wasn't the case. Benjamin and Amelia Gerber were 12 and 10 years old, respectively. They were riding in a tube behind their pontoon boat when they spotted some people in trouble.
We spotted the sailboat that was flipped over, and Mom told me and Amelia, as we were the best swimmers, to get out and save that man.
The two had junior lifeguard training. Despite their age and size, they didn't think twice before jumping into the water.
With all the training that you have, you just kind of automatically go. Like, you don't have to overthink it. You just have to think strategically.
Ben dragged the man 80 yards to safety.
From my size, he was easily double what I was.
Last year, the two received awards for their efforts. Ben was given the M.G. Griffiths Certificate for courage in the face of considerable danger, the second highest national rescue award.
The night of is when I kind of finally fully kind of sat back, closed my eyes, and was like, oh my, we saved somebody.
This week is National Drowning Prevention Week. The siblings are keynote speakers at upcoming flag-raising ceremonies, examples of how training can save lives.
If an incident does occur, they can kind of snap into action a lot easier. So in the case of Amelia and Benjamin, when they saw the gentleman struggling in the water, they were able to go out there and help him and do so safely as well, which is really important.
The two have continued their lifeguard training and advocate for others to get their own. Noel Rashog, CTV News, Edmonton.
Over the past few weeks, rain, mosquitoes, smoke, and even more rain have derailed plans for many Edmontonians. CTV's Nair Manisa has more on how you can weather the bummer of a summer.
It's been a multitude of weather conditions for Taste of Edmonton.
Come dress for the elements and enjoy the experience.
Everything from rain, wind, smoke, and some sun.
It's one of those things that, the months planning leading up to Taste of Edmonton, these are things that we're cognizant of.
The erratic weather on top of a pesky mosquito problem is proving to be too much for some Edmontonians. Some say they feel shortchanged with the summer.
It's been terrible. So much rain, now smoke. It sucks.
We are feeling like we're missing the summer and winter is coming.
We planned some outdoor activities like camping and others. We have to cancel it because of the storm.
Others are not letting the rain dampen their spirits.
So I like rain, so it's been awesome.
While we can't control the weather, the smoke, or the mosquitoes, we can control our mindset. According to one local registered psychologist, your attitude can make a less than ideal situation a whole lot better.
There's disappointment, there's frustration, there's sort of a sense of sadness and loss about not being able to have some of that stuff. So it is actually weighing on it.
A registered psychologist says your best bet to weather the storm is to focus on things you can control.
I would have plan A and B and maybe a plan C at this point too, just so you know that you have some other things that you can do that will also be enjoyable, right? They might not be the plan A, but plan C is still pretty fun.
And if those plans include Taste of Edmonton, it runs until Sunday, rain or shine. Nair Manisa, CTV News, Edmonton.
A new Hope Mission initiative is helping kids get work experience this summer with a food truck. The Hope Mission food truck provides nutritious meals to underserved areas. It also serves customers at farmers markets and public events. The program hires kids who are part of the Hope Mission Tegler Youth Center programs. Organizers say working on the food truck teaches teamwork along with cooking and customer service skills.
A lot of youth know about the possibility and what it's like to work, but to actually have the hands-on experience, it's been mind-blowing.
I think you learn a lot of responsibility, and for me personally, I've learned a lot of public speaking, I would feel like, because I've been really shy, so I haven't been able to do that a lot, but this job has been able to push me out of my shell a little bit.
You can spot the Hope Mission food truck at events across the province all summer. Coming up next, a rumble on the K-Days Midway as athletes compete to be crowned the next Slam Fest champion. And also just ahead, Country Clear Out. Musician Brett Kissel hosts a family garage sale in Sherwood Park.
I come from a family of hoarders. Like we thought that we're pretty organized, but we just have so much stuff that we've accumulated over the years.
Well, the smoke, the air quality, it is improving, believe it or not. We did see air quality improve throughout the day today, and it will continue to do so overnight and through tomorrow. Still some smoke, but much better. Tomorrow, the heat moves in. We really see a big jump in our temperature. I have those details, your 5 and 10-day forecast coming up.
A country music star's trash may just be another person's treasure. Brett Kissel and his family are holding a garage sale in Sherwood Park, and CTV's Curtis Goodrum stopped by.
This for free.
Oh, thank you.
Is that good?
My son will be very happy about that.
It's a country clear-out sale. Country music artist Brett Kissel and his family are hoping their pop-up shop will be a barn burner. They're hosting a garage sale at the A.J. Otwell Community Center.
I come from a family of hoarders. Like we thought that we're pretty organized, but we just have so much stuff that we've accumulated over the years.
We're selling furniture and all our old toys and some clothes, shoes, old hats, and we've made a lot of money so far.
That money will benefit 2 local charities, Alberta Dreams and Golden Circle of Champions. They both help sick kids fulfill their wishes and dreams.
Georgia. Thanks, Georgia. Great name.
Thanks.
Great tattoo. Okay, what do we got in here?
Kissel is already making some fans' dreams come true by hosting a meet and greet.
I mean, I've been a fan of Brett since I was little, and then I just found it really cool that I could have like a, personal experience with him and just say I've been to his garage sale.
We love Brett Kissel. We just wanted to meet him and come see what he had out here and support him.
And I know it's all going to charity, so why not support charity?
It's really, really cool to actually have a visit with people. Sign some autographs too. We've been having fun.
The garage sale runs until tomorrow at 9 p.m. Curtis Goodrum, CTV News, Edmonton.
Things were getting rowdy in the ring at K-Days today. Madness on the midway as competitors from Top Talent Wrestling were going at it. A bit of a size mismatch in this one, with the bigger guy coming out on top. Athletes from Alberta, the United States, Mexico, and Scotland are here, all competing to be crowned the next Slam Fest champion.
Be out here in the middle of the midway and be able to connect with new audiences, I think is really exciting, and a lot of people get to see a product that they've never seen before, and you see a lot of people that become brand new wrestling fans.
The final match for the championship belt was held this evening. A uniquely designed space is getting set to cater to a large but often underserved population. Canada's first ever Dementia-inclusive park will soon open in Calgary. As CTV's Tim Brooke explains, it's meant to help both those struggling and the people who care for them.
Only a few more steps to go before the Martin Family Legacy Garden springs to life. Canada's first ever dementia-inclusive public park will soon accommodate those with the illness, as well as their caregivers and family members.
It is meant to be for multi-generations and for all to enjoy. We've put in a number of universal design features so that people of all ages and abilities can enjoy this.
Visitors here will see plenty of seating areas, extensive greenery, sensory elements, and even an accessible playground. And 3 color-coded loops allow those using the park to wander without getting lost.
It's very tangible and very legible and very immediately apparent for folks who maybe don't have the cognitive capacity to navigate themselves through other public spaces. So the continuous handrails that support folks, I think that's a huge benefit to the park and the folks that are going to be using the park.
It's all publicly accessible, connecting with the city's pathway system and close to a care home and Forest Lawn Senior Center.
So we worked with people like Alzheimer's Calgary, with these researchers who specialize in dementia at the University of Calgary and Mount Royal University.
There are currently about 20,000 Calgarians living with dementia, and so while this is a first of its kind public park, don't expect it to be the last.
And we have had interest from user groups and other organizations across the country.
The Martin Family Legacy Garden will officially open on September 21st, coinciding with World Alzheimer's Day. Tim Brooke, CTV News, Calgary.
Coming up after the break, meet Brando, a dog who helps people with sight loss practice before they're paired with a real service animal.
Although, yeah, it's a robot, but you want it to still feel like real, and people can actually feel more comfortable touching it.
It's a homecoming this week for our singer-songwriter Creisha Turner, taking the K-Days stage after a decade-long hiatus with a new single and tour. She'll join us in studio Wednesday.
Your Morning Edmonton, weekdays.
Programming brought to you by James H. Brown Injury Lawyers, the heavy hitters of injury law.
Well, it was another smoky day, but temperature-wise, it was seasonal, fairly close at least. We made it up to 23.4. Average seasonal high is 24, so fairly close to that. So temperature-wise, nice and seasonal for today. Tomorrow, we jump well above that. We'll be heading into the high 20s. Now, as far as the smoke, we will see an improvement, but still a factor in maybe how you approach your day tomorrow. Today, this is how we ended off. It was high health risk in Grand Prairie and Cold Lake, but a moderate health risk for tomorrow. For us, we ended off as a 6. Tomorrow, we should be around a 5, maybe even a 4. So still moderate health risk as far as the air quality, but much of an improvement. So moderate health risk, at-risk population, cardiovascular, respiratory issues. Consider reducing or rescheduling strenuous outdoor activities. General population, maybe not needing to do so unless you start to experience any sort of symptoms associated with the smoke. So an improvement once again. We'll see a little bit more of a blue sky, and then our temperature jumps up. As far as today, again, we made it to 23.4. We have 9 days right around average, 6 above and 6 below. As we take a look at your forecast for tomorrow into the north, we've got temperatures in the high 20s and around 30 as well. High level Peace River, Edson, a high of 30, Grand Prairie 31, even areas to the east feeling the heat. 28 in Cold Lake, 28 in Vegreville. Also in the south, we'll see temperatures above 30 degrees, 33 Medicine Hat, 32 in Lethbridge, and west of the city, Jasper, also feeling the heat, 31. For us here in Edmonton, 14 in the morning, risk of fog in the morning, and then mainly sunny, still a little bit of smoke, but better than today, and 29 for a high. Thursday, Friday, highs of 31, mainly sunny, wind light. And Saturday, still the day to watch. As we go into the mid and later part of the day, there's a risk of thunderstorms once again. So we could see some good storms, possibly adding to the rainfall totals. So we'll keep an eye on that, see how that develops closer we get to it. Sunday, 25. As we take a look at next week, temperatures right around average seasonal high to start off, and then above and just below as we go throughout the rest of the week. What's missing from this forecast are the days of consistent rain. It looks a little bit more settled and a little bit more stable, which is good.
Canadian researchers are combining artificial intelligence with man's best friend in order to help people prepare for getting a guide dog. CTV's John Musselman explains.
His name is Brando. He doesn't bark and he doesn't bite, but he's a pretty good walker. An AI-enabled robot dog prototype created by students at Ontario Tech University in Oshawa.
The first part we can move by the remote, but now we use the AI to control it.
Brando was designed to help people with sight loss practice guide dog skills before being matched with a real canine companion. Dr. Patrick Hung is the lead researcher behind this project.
He or she has to wait for 3 to 5 years to get a real guide dog, okay? And even though like that, after the guide dog is ready, they have to train the person for another half year to interact with the guide dog. And the person may never have any experience with a pet at home at all. So that's why we believe that the AI and robotics can play a role. Instead of replace the job of a guide dog, is to help to assist the entire training process.
Developers say Brando can help build confidence for users. Students are working to make it feel real, adding fur, eyes, and ears that move.
Although, yeah, it's a robot, but you want it to still feel like real, and people can actually feel more comfortable touching it.
Similar AI robot dogs have been introduced in some U.S. states where they are being deployed in long-term care homes. They offer support to patients living with dementia. Back here at home, the goal is similar.
We want to do more community engagement programs, such as with CNIB, Canadian Institute for the Blind, so that we can do more user testing to see how people really use that, and we want to see whether to add more functions.
Robot guide dogs could be integrated into the guide dog training program within the next 2 to 3 years. John Musselman, CTV News in Oshawa.
Thanks for watching us tonight. For the latest news anytime, visit our website, ctvnewsedmonton.ca. Thank you for spending your time here. Have a good night.